Good morning. Welcome to Haventree Parent Podcast, where we get a chance to talk about something that's important to us and to you before our kids wake up.
Today, we are going to be answering some of the most commonly asked questions for large families.
All right, so like you said, we're going to be answering questions that are asked to large families.
Yeah.
I'm already laughing at some of these questions because it will be funny to see answers. And I know I just said something to somebody else the other day that was having like a fourth or something. So it'll be, I don't know, should be pretty fun.
I have to add, though, before we actually start, we do have a special guest today. A little snorty. This is Edmund. He's our newest baby. He actually was the only baby born.
Baby puppy.
To his mommy. Yeah, baby puppy. For those listening and not watching. Little baby puppy. He is just by himself. He doesn't have any litter mates or siblings. And so when his mom goes outside in the morning to run and go potty and just have her alone time, he gets very lonely. So I had to snuggle him. So you will probably hear like little snorty noises and things. That is not me. That is little Edmund. But he's very sweet. It's going to be hard to say goodbye to him because he gets extra snuggles.
like you said, he has no playmates, so he needs a fun little family. If you know of somebody, tell him to contact us.
Shameless bug. No, I just think he's cute. So anybody that's watching gets to see the cute. But
I think we have 2 more weeks at least with him. So.
Oh, several more. But yeah, little snorty.
Yeah, she doesn't like to sell them until they're like 15 weeks. Like, okay, they're a big dog now.
Well, no, that's not true. I just want to make sure that everything's good. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so large families get all kinds of questions in the grocery store.
Yes. So, like I said, some of these, I think I was talking to other parents the other day, and this first one is, don't you know where babies come from?
Yeah.
Or how they're made, all those things. So,
yeah. There's so many variations of this comment. Like, don't you know how that happens? Like, don't you know where they come from? Don't you know? You'd think you would learn by now how that happens. And I don't know. I'm kind of sarcastic about that one. Like, I've been known to say, like, yeah, we offer live demonstrations every Friday. Or like, do you? Obviously, no, we don't. Or like, yeah, do you need some pointers? Or, do you need me to explain it to you? Yeah, like, and I know that I think most of these
I still say you have to be cautious about that sarcasm. So
yeah, I know. But I think most of these questions that we're going to talk about today, people say like in jest, or like to be friendly because they don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's a good icebreaker.
Because it's like, it is like just different. Large families aren't the norm anymore. And so people, want to say something because they notice. And so, but at the same time, like, it is not super polite. Like this baby, she was way surprising, which we've been very open about. And we're thrilled and excited and can't wait to meet her. Yeah. And so to have people act like, oh, like, yikes, is like so, like, I don't know, like, just celebrate with us this new little tiny person that's coming to join our family. Like, we're thrilled. Just, be happy with us, or say like, that's awesome, or say nothing, you know? So sometimes, some of those things can come across a little bit like, I don't know, just not very nice. And I think it's silly because, we are surrounded by mostly conservative, religious, pro-life, whatever people. And so when our friends and coworkers and things like that say stuff like that, it's a little like confusing at most. Like you're pro-life or pro whatever, as long as it's convenient. I don't know. It just comes off weird sometimes, like.
I'm not trying to go political on this.
No, but it just, if you're a Christian, like the Bible says, kids are a blessing. Like, so I don't know why so many people act like they're a blessing until you have too many, you know? I don't know. It just is weird to me.
Yeah, understood. Understood. My story for that one was yesterday in one of the dad's groups. One of the dads was like, "I just brought home my third daughter," and my response was like, "Where did you find them all?"
Brought it home from where? The pumpkin patch?
Where are you finding these kids? So, you're just bringing these kids home from where?
Yeah.
So like I said, just be sarcastic,
Just
but silly about
silly,
it.
yeah.
So. And then the next one, is still related to the same topic, is just where were you trying to get pregnant?
See, so this one, I think it really depends on like,
Knowing the person well, probably.
yeah, like because we're very open about sharing that we were not trying, that, and for us, that is something that we wanted to share because we think it's amazing, like we think it's a super important and integral part of this little girl and who she is and who she's going to be, that she was so shocking and so surprising and so unexpected and, an overcomer, so to speak, of like, shouldn't have been possible while we were using birth control. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a, we don't want you. That's a, you are amazing. Like you are such a gift and a blessing that we weren't expecting. And it's interesting because I think, I've talked with some other large family moms who sort of chastised me almost for sharing that we were surprised with this one. And like, well, it sounds like you're trying to, like explain away or that you're ashamed of her or whatever. And, and I think, I had to just kind of say like, that is literally the furthest from the truth, and so there is a lot of individuality and uniqueness in what you share and how you share and whatever. But again, it is kind of one of those questions that's like, that's super personal. Like, were you trying? Like, do you want me to say like, oh yeah, my husband and I have a really active sex life and, we go at it at least 3 times a night. Like, I don't know. Like, that question is a little bit awkward unless it's somebody that you're very close to, and have that kind of relationship with. It's just not, it's not a question that you should ask like in the store or like in the sanctuary at church, or I don't know, like it's just not usually the best.
Yeah. I think you mentioned this next one, so I'm going to skip it. So you really have your hands full, huh?
This one is, yes. Like, yeah, I do.
But we like it that way.
Right. Well, and I think that this one is one that like, if my kids are all with me somewhere and somebody says that, it's a little like, is somebody misbehaving? And they're like, trying to nicely say like, you've got a kid swinging from the lights over there. Like,
Yeah.
like, so there's kind of a component of like, are you suggesting like, you have your hands full because it's a difficult crew to manage, or like just you have your hands full because there's a lot of them, or, what's the intent behind that, A lot of times my response to that is just like, oh, it's a party every day at our house, which is true. It's always, exciting and loud and chaotic and wonderful, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like having all the busyness that we have too. So, it is nice to have those quiet moments when everybody is
asleep,
settled, or doing school or doing whatever other thing that they need to be doing.
Yeah.
Then it's like, all right, cool. Take the 20 minutes to do whatever. But I don't know. I'm social. I like to be around people. So having my own people in my house, it just feels like a party all the time.
There's always somebody to talk to and hang out with.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Do you get any alone time? Sort of same thing.
No.
We try. We take turns. Yeah.
No. That's not something I've actually been asked a whole lot. Mm-hmm. It's probably almost something that's good to ask. I mean, I guess you could say like, how do you think we're making these babies? Like we do get some alone time sometime,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I I think I value my alone time a lot more,
Yeah.
or those moments just where it's quiet. And we're a little bit, I think, because it's so rare, we try to be really intentional about that. Whether that's like Josh will just take all of the kids to like go get gas sometimes, just so that I can have 10 minutes of total silence in the house, or because that is something that's more important to me than Josh. Like Josh is sad when he has alone time. I am rejuvenated when I have alone time. Like the textbook, like introvert and extrovert, sort of descriptions fit Josh and I very well, and so it is something that's important to me that I do need. And so we just are intentional about that and creative with how we do that.
Yeah, I'm like, you need to get out of here for a few minutes. So
Yeah.
go get coffee or whatever. So
Yeah, like I'll drive, 20 minutes just to stop at a gas station and,
yeah,
get a pop,
yeah.
or
I think
like
there was a
whatever.
yeah, and that and I like that you're able to go have that break and just
Yeah.
mentally fix your brain and come back and be like,
Yeah.
okay, now that I've been able to process some things, here's what we're gonna do tomorrow. So
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a post yesterday, and I feel lame for talking about like people posting stuff that I'm going to mention because like
That's okay.
the last time I had a conversation with somebody without a mask on was like a year ago. So it's been forever
Yeah.
with that. So communication online is the only way that we talk to people right now. Mostly, hence the podcast. But. They said about like themselves, they have like 7 kids, it sounded like, and they were like, we've gone on 4 dates in like 4 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So I assume it was like a Christmas day type of like,
Yeah.
we're getting out of here for a day. So, because who wants to watch 7 kids or 8 kids for somebody? So
Yeah.
not that we have that many, but
It is hard, though, to
we
find.
try to split it out if we can. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Take these 2, we'll keep these ones.
Right.
Minimize the amount around.
Send half to one grandma and half to the other.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There's methods. So, all right, moving on. Are you going to have more?
Maybe.
I think that's the only answer for that.
Like it is funny because there have been a couple times that we've said like, we've had like friends ask like, are you going to have more? And I've sort of said like, we don't know. Like we kind of thought we might be done. And then now we're not really sure. Like we kind of have to meet her and feel it out. And like, then we get sort of like comments like, well, just because you feel that way doesn't mean Josh does. Or like I know a good doctor you can go to, and we'll call it like a guy's day out instead. Or things like that are a little bit like, this is, not, we were not asking for your input or assistance with this, like
Yeah.
we, me and Josh will figure this out. And it's not, up for discussion really. You asked a question and I gave you an answer. And just because you think that, it's a weird answer doesn't mean you need to suggest that like Josh should go and get fixed behind my back or that it's a one-sided discussion or whatever, so I don't know. I think that those are silly sometimes.
Yeah.
He's like chewing on my hair over here. You're naughty. You're naughty.
This next one I'm trying to figure out where to jump into for these other questions. Do you know the Duggars? I mean, it's just a funny question.
Yeah. I mean, I've had like, do you know the Duggars? Are you trying to get your own TV show? Like, I don't know. I'm like,
Yeah, YouTube's fine enough. So
like, no, we just, we wanted a large family. Like, we love our kids. Another one that we get asked or that I've gotten asked that I think is super rude is like, how do you pay for them? Or, or versions of that are even more, disrespectful as far as like sort of suggesting that we must be on government assistance or that we have a lot of kids to get government assistance or, like things like that. And I'm kind of appalled by those kinds of comments that are like, how dare you, that is so obscene to assume that because someone has a big family, they rely on government assistance, or they only have a big family to obtain government assistance, or whatever. Like, and those kinds of comments do make me want to smack somebody. Like, I don't have any nice response for that kind of,
Sure.
nonsense. Like, that's just rude.
Well, you added that question on your own. So.
I did, but it is a question that I've been asked more than once.
Yeah, understood.
People will also ask, what was the other one I was just thinking about? Oh, are they all yours?
Whenever we do these lists, Katie always adds her own 10. So.
Yeah. Are they all yours? Yes, they're mine. Oh, like, no, I took the neighbor hood kids grocery shopping with me for funsies. Like, yes, they're all mine. Especially if I'm in the grocery store and I have a cart full of groceries. Like, no, I decided to bring the soccer team with me for my monthly grocery shopping. Like, what do you mean, are they all yours? Mm-hmm. What a rude question. And I know what they're angling at is, did you adopt some? Are they foster kids? Like, and that's none of your business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because then what do I single out? Like, oh yeah, that one that looks like the mailman, that one's not mine, but we take care of her too. Mm-hmm. Like, what? It's just rude. It's just rude. Like, that is a question that you don't ask, like it is rude. So I that question I don't like either. Like, are they all yours? I don't like that one. I don't think it's appropriate.
I am parenting all of them. Yes. The next question is, you must have unlimited amounts of patience.
Mm-hmm. I have no more patience than anybody else.
I was just saying, it's very limited, and it depends on location, timing, all the other things.
I might have less patience than others. I don't know. I think, and this is something that I think would be a great topic to talk about at some point, but I think like large families and parents of large families, their priorities shift a little bit. And so there are things that like other parents will talk about, like, oh, my kid does blah, 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 and it makes me crazy. Or I haven't been able to get the laundry, or the closets organized in months, or like, just, I don't know, just different things like that I think, like, I don't know that I've ever done that or thought about that, or, like, yeah. And so I just think that there's something that shifts. And some of the things that are priorities, or even that were priorities when we only had a couple kids, are not even things that I worry about, or that I've realized really aren't that important to us. And so I don't think it's so much patience as it is just being really intentional about where we put our time and efforts and attention.
Yeah, one of our biggest time savers is, obviously with the 3 bigger ones, we can have each of them go to a different room. So like, one of them will be cleaning up the kitchen stuff, one of them could be cleaning up the living room, and the other one could be cleaning up the TV room. So that way, like, all 3 rooms are getting clean, and we're able to like bounce between and like make sure things are getting done. And just like if there is help needed, or somebody wants to whine about like, oh, I have to clean off the counter or whatever, we can manage that easily. Yeah. And the whole house is clean within moments because you have extra help.
Or like laundry.
Yeah.
I don't fold the kids' laundry. They have their laundry basket that they put their dirty laundry in. Why are you whining it?
Yeah, well, we've made it easy for them to have like their drawers and dressers.
And then we wash their laundry. I don't separate by color. Like, if there's anything in our house that needs to be washed special, it doesn't belong in our house. That's all there is to it.
Right.
So I wash their load of laundry, dry their load of laundry, and send it back upstairs, and they can put it away. They took it out of their basket or out of their dresser. Yeah. They know where it goes to put it back in their dresser. Is it folded? Absolutely not. Well, I think Adri's probably is usually. I've been trying to emphasize it with the bigger kids, but like, no, it's not folded, but
it's clean.
I don't have to look in there. I don't have to look in there. It's clean.
And then you can go with it.
It doesn't have holes in it. It isn't stained. And they have clothing that fits them as the appropriate size, Like
I said, we tried to make those chore jobs just easier. So that way it's something that we're able to help them with, or they're able to do at least, to a degree.
And quite frankly, I have no reason to look in their drawer ever. I'm not getting dressed in there. I'm not, picking out their clothes. And if I'm not putting away their clothes either, I don't need to look in there, And so it doesn't matter if it's folded or not. There's my laundry hack.
Did you come from a large family? There's your laundry hack.
No. And so that is, I mean, it is kind of a fun question that some people ask, like, oh, did you guys come from big families? Like, no. Josh is one of 3. I'm one of 4,
Average sizes.
Yeah. Or like, are you guys religious? Are you guys, like opposed to birth control? Like there's some of that too. No, and I don't think there's anything wrong with those questions normally. I think those are just like curiosity questions sometimes of, like where people are just trying to understand what our reason is for wanting a big family or like,
Yeah.
So it is kind of a funny, like, no.
Right. Next one is, I have no idea how you do it. I only have 2 kids or whatever number and can hardly manage them.
Like I said, I think, it kind of depends on like the context in which this question is asked.
Right. And I think how much your responsibility you're taking on yourself. Like if you've, I don't know, how your home life is going, but.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
I have no idea how, full-time working parents with 2 kids have any time to actually spend with their kids. Like if they both have to work all day and their kids are at school all day and then they come home and then they have to do homework, like how do you ever have time to like just talk to your kids or get to know them, especially if you do any extracurricular thing at all. Like I don't know how you manage that, and so I guess like that kind of question can be taken as like a way to share your life. But I think, again, it really just kind of depends on the context. Like, because that is a time that I might say, like, I just prioritize, or I realize that there are some things in life that really aren't that important, and so I don't worry about them. Or, if it's like some rando in the grocery store, I just kind of smile and say, like, God's grace is how I do it, or like whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Next one is, how are you planning on putting them all through college? Which, is probably a big question, and I don't know yet. So yeah, hopefully we'll have a plan when we get there.
So that one's an interesting one because neither of us had parents that put us through college. Josh, the military put Josh through college. Scholarships and student loans put me through college. And I knew that if I wanted to go to college, I needed to work hard in school to get scholarships, like that was my motivation for, doing the things in school. And it made choosing a school a lot easier for me when the time came, So I don't know. I would say that's, that's something that our finances can worry about and we'll worry about when we get there. But thanks for your concern. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. If you know of a program, tell us. Let's see. I think that was mostly the last one. There might be one more here.
I do think it's funny, like when Josh takes all the kids somewhere, he gets, all of the, like, I don't know, like he garners a lot of attention and like people want to be friendly towards him. And like he takes the kids on walks and there's a person who lives near the trail that they go on walks and bike rides who's like made friends with Josh. And that partially is just because Josh is outgoing and friendly, I think. But, also because he's a dad and he's got, 5 little hooligans in tow, little ducklings. And it just is different. Whereas like, people don't, like when I go somewhere with all the kids, I sort of get more of those comments or like get, hassled at the doctor's office, and have like the receptionist say like, you need to make sure you get a babysitter for some of these kids next time because you can't be bringing all of them here at once. I'm like, why? They're all sitting quietly reading a book. Like, if they were swinging from the chandelier, I would understand you saying that. But like, they're the most well-behaved kids in the waiting room. So I don't understand what the problem is right now, or whatever, And so we do get, I do get a lot of that.
Obviously, right now they're not going anywhere, but
Yeah, so
when
it
they
does
were
make it
going
easier.
places, yeah.
But, you know, it just is like, I'm sorry that, you know, my offspring are inconveniencing you, you know, and certainly we have seen, I have experienced like, being on the other side of that and being, you know, a healthcare provider and having a patient bring her unruly, troublemaking, you know, 1 or 2 kids and just dreading every time that they come because they end up breaking something or whatever. You know, and so I do get that, but when there's a situation that's like, just because the number is inconveniencing to you or makes you uncomfortable or whatever, you know, like that's a little bit different. And it's annoying. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What other thoughts do you have?
I don't know.
We like our big family.
Yeah.
You know, we chose to have it. We wanted it, you know, even before we had our first kid. We said we wanted, oh yeah, like 6 or 7. Sounds great, you know. And that hasn't changed, you know. There've been a couple of times that I've surely thought about it. You know, Sai was the worst baby that I've ever met. And I wondered then, like, if I have another one like him, I might lose it. He was uniquely terrible. Thankfully, he's not anymore. But, you know, so there have been times that I've wondered, like, what are we doing? But those are short-lived, and we're thankful, you know, for each one and the blessing that they are. And, you know, there's something that is a little bit hurtful sometimes when especially like friends, people that know us, kind of suggest that it was an accident or a mistake or whatever. So we're thankful that our family loves our kids and gets it, and that most of our friends do too, even with their, you know, teasing or whatever sometimes. So, and
Right.
everybody else, yeah, it's weird, you know, but you know, like your grandma always said, if you don't have anything nice to say, just, you know, keep it in, keep it in.
Which is a lesson we need to talk about with our kids right now.
Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah. But
That's the only, I think that's where my patience is getting tested, is just the things they want to say and talk about. So,
but I do think I hear them running about upstairs.
yes.
A little herd of hooligans.
Yes.
So
Say goodbye,
it is,
Edmund. Say we'll see you.
cutie.
Bye.
Look at your little ears.
He's the one squeaking down here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until the next adventure.
Bye.
Bye.